Hey, it's Belinda, and this video is going to be about Ragnar. So this is like Ragnar 101. If you've never done a Ragnar before, this kind of gives you the overview of what it is. So essentially, it's a relay race, about 200 miles, and there's two vans, 6 runners, max of 6 runners in the 2 vans, so 12-person teams. And we play hopscotch with the vans. So basically, van 1 will start out, they run legs 1 through 6. Then we hand off, van 1 hands off to van 2. Van 2 runs legs 7 through 12. Hand off to van 1, hand off to van 2, hand off to van 1, hand off to van 2. So we all, if you have a full team of 12 runners, we all run 3 legs each, right? And we typically stay in our position. So for example, if I'm runner 9, I'm runner 9 through all 3 rotations of my van. Sometimes things happen, and I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. So we have to stay flexible in Ragnar. So we hand off in between times. So when you're not running, when your van is not running, you are parked somewhere and you're trying to sleep in your van, which is why you want to bring some type of a little travel pillow, some type of a blanket, so that you can get a little bit of rest. If you are the type of person who gets cranky and angry when you don't have enough sleep, be aware of that. Okay, Ragnar is very much a team sport, and it is very, very challenging, and you don't want to take your tiredness out on your teammates. That is one way to not get invited back to Ragnar again. And as you're doing a Ragnar, you'll probably say to yourself, this is stupid, this is dumb, this is crazy, I'm never going to do this again. And usually that conversation happens at about 2 or 3 in the morning. And then you get done your Ragnar and you celebrate, and then you sign up for another one. So it gets very addicting. So that's a warning. So we want to be very respectful. So we're going to be running. You're going to be at your exchanges. You wait for your runner to come in, and they have a slap bracelet. All right, and you slap it down to the next runner, and off they go. So you always want to know who is handing off to you and who are you handing off to. So you can be looking for them. All right, so you can be looking for them, and you're ready to go, and you can make the exchange as smooth as possible, especially when it's nighttime and it's a little crazy. So you want to know who are your handoff people, right? Speaking of handoff people, when we do Ragnar, one thing that is really important is that we are honest about our paces. So if you run a 10:30, tell us you run a 10:30. Don't say, oh, I run a 10 or I run a 9:30 or a 9:45. Say you run a 10:30, because everything is based on those estimates of the pace. Now, that doesn't mean things don't happen, and maybe you are faster, or maybe you are slower, or maybe you get injured, or maybe there's all kinds of stoplights along your leg. That does happen, believe it or not. But it gives us a good metric of not only when are we handing off to our next runner, but also when is the next van going to meet us. So we are very diligent record keepers when we do Ragnar. So we have a driver and we have a navigator. Right? So 2 of the 6, one's driving, one's navigating. Whoever is navigating is going to keep track of the time as to when did that runner leave, when do we expect the next run, when do we expect them to come in. Okay, that way we can make sure that we're at the exchange at the right time. In order to assist with that and to make sure that we're there on time, I recommend this. I think it's crazy not to do this, but I always say when you hit the 1 mile marker, and Ragnar will put a sign up that will say 1 mile to go. When you hit that 1 mile marker, text the team. And we're going to have a text list with all of our names already loaded in. Text the team coming in 1 mile to go. You could just do a picture with like the sign, that's kind of cool, or it's just 1 mile to go, or 1 or whatever, but just something to know that you're 1 mile out. And then we can say, okay, well, we know that she runs at 10:30, so in about 10 minutes she's going to be there. So probably about 8.5, 9 minutes we'll be there at the exchange. Next runner's teed up and ready to go. So remember that 1 mile warning, that 1 mile heads up, okay? It's really important to make sure that we're there and that we are ready, all right? Now, I mentioned there's a driver and a navigator. The thing with Ragnar is flexibility. It's a team, and you have to work really well as a team. We're all going to be tired. We're all going to be cranky. We're all going to be hungry, sweaty, stinky, whatever. We're going to have some anxiety. Get to work as a team. Know who likes to do what within the van, but also give some grace on those roles. And what I mean by that is I love to drive the van, and so does Brandy, my daughter Brandy. So we like to drive. I do it just because it's a control freak, and typically because I've rented the van and I'm a little freaked out about it. Yes, I may have backed into a post at one point on a Ragnar, but thankfully they didn't charge me for that. So if you have people who like to drive, make sure we know who those people are. If you have people who don't and absolutely do not feel safe driving a 12 or 15 passenger van, honestly, probably better off not doing that. Okay, just again, we don't want to rack up a big bill because there was an accident. However, even if you don't like driving, you can take turns navigating, all right, and jump in the seat. Don't wait for someone to say, hey, can you take a turn navigating? Volunteer. Now, if you're the next runner up, you should not be driving or navigating, most likely. You should be getting ready as we're driving to the next exchange. But if you're done running, the next one, let's say you've taken your break, you've rested through a leg, well, that next leg, offer, hey, can I drive? Can I navigate? And work through it like that. Now, when you get to the spots where you get to stop and camp for a little bit between when your van is off, remember that just because people have been, maybe you have a consistent driver and navigator like Brandy and I, doesn't mean we might not want to stretch out on one of the seats at some point and take a little nap. So again, be generous with the space. Don't just claim, okay, this is my spot and I've got the back bench and nobody else can be back here on the back bench. Know that you have to rotate your space periodically to allow everyone to rest as much as possible. All right? Don't be selfish with the space. Be always looking at how you can help out your team members. Always be looking at, hey, can I get you a water? Hey, do you want me to walk to the bathroom with you? Do you want me to fix you a snack? Here, can I help you get your gear? Whatever. Just be always looking at how you can serve your team members, your van mates, okay? That's really, really important. Use deodorant, clean up. You're going to stink to some extent, but make it tolerable by using the appropriate resources, and I shared those in another video. And then last thing I'd say on generally speaking just about Ragnar is do a team survey or van survey so you know who's bringing what in your van so that you don't get overloaded. Be very, very conscious of space. Be very respectful of space. Don't spread out all over the van. Don't have crap everywhere. I recommend labeling things because you're in a van, it gets crazy. Even just a cord like this, it's amazing how they disappear, especially phone chargers. I put little flags on mine, so it makes it easier. So Ragnar really is about an experience. It's about a challenge. It's not about how fast you did. We don't ever go, wow, you were super fast, that was awesome, and oh, you suck, you're really super slow, and that was sucky. We don't ever do that. It's about the celebration of, wow, we just did something super challenging. And pace very rarely comes into it other than just to determine, okay, when do we need to be at the checkpoints? So I'm going to talk in another video about training and preparing, but keep that in mind. It is about having fun. It is about kind of sharing the misery, sharing the joy, sharing the pain, having jokes, and just really embracing it and celebrating what you're doing. At the end, two more things I'm going to mention. At the end of the race, we all want to run in together as a team. So whoever our very last runner is, runner 12, we will meet them as they're coming in the final chute, and we all run in together wearing our team shirts. It's a really, really amazing moment. And so back that up a little bit. When you get to your exchanges, this is a personal thing. This is a pet peeve of mine, so not everybody is going to agree with this. But to me, it is really important, especially at the nighttime exchanges, that everyone gets out of the van, everyone goes and meets the runner coming in and sends the new runner off. Don't lay in the van and sleep while your van mates are like handling the exchanges. We all want sleep. You're not special. Well, we're all special, but you're not special. Go out there and support your team, okay? So again, that's a big part of this is the van, like getting the van. Van 1 and van 2, we don't interact a whole lot, so that's kind of another interesting dynamic. So even though we're on one team, we only see each other at check-in, and then at the major exchanges, and then at the finish line. So it's kind of a bummer we don't get more time with our van, with the other van, because that's part of the experience. But again, we will see them at the finish line and at the major exchanges. All right, this section was, like I say, just Ragnar etiquette, Ragnar overview. More to come.